Today we are looking at this issue of 90s 4, issue 15. Some okay stuff in this. I don't know if I have brought this up before, but 90s 4 writer and co-creator Tom Falcon, he famously once claimed that at the time of this book's cancellation, it was outselling The Avengers and Thor. A lot of people, Marvel executive editor Tom Beevort included, have said Tom Falcon was talking out of his arse, but I think it is believable. Thor was not good at the time, and it had come off the terrible Blood and Thunder run. Avengers was sinking fast, with Bob Patrick Harris losing interest, and fill-ins every few issues. This, conversely, was dependable. You had Tom Falcon and Ron Frenz, and it felt more like classic Thor than Thor series was willing to be. There are a few issues of this series not drawn by Ron Frenz, but for the love of me, I cannot remember who the replacement was. This one starts with 90s 4 fighting some troll things in fairyland. And I think there is maybe a bit of silliness going on to have 90s 4 in fairyland when the character's main draw, what makes him unique, is that he is not of fairyland. It makes him seem very pointless next to Thor when you also have 90s 4 involved with fairyland stuff. But I will give it a pass here. I think this is the main time they do have him gone to fairyland in his solo series. And we are starting in the middle of the story, and we get a quick flashback to tell us how it happened. My most favourite writing trope in the world. And that is sarcasm, because I fucking hate this bullshit narrative trick. It actually makes me less interested to know why 90s 4 is attacking fairyland. I have no investment in that as an idea. Had they told it chronologically, maybe when we get to that point in the story, I would be interested in him attacking fairyland. So yeah, at the start here, we have a 2-page flashback explaining it. At least it's not a full fucking story. I still hate it though. What this tells us is that Spider-Man's best friend, Satan, he has stolen 90s 4's son's soul, and now 90s 4 has to do whatever Satan wants to get it back. So that is why 90s 4 is attacking fairyland. Satan wants him to steal one of the magic golden apples, the magic fruit from the magic tree that grants the fairyland people their immortality. 90s 4, he comes to realise he cannot go through with a deal with Satan, which lets us know that 90s 4 is a greater man than Spider-Man. This came out in very late 1994, and it still feels like a comic from 1991. That is a compliment. It could also be construed as a criticism, but I think in this case it is a good thing. They have not moved on and adopted all this angsty melodrama and Wolfman guest appearances of the mid-90s. And yes, you did hear right. Tom Falcon is being praised for his work not being as melodramatic as others. It does take us a while to get to the main plot and the stuff that I think is intriguing, which is the direct confrontation with Satan. The Ron French art is another thing that refreshingly hasn't changed much with the times. We've still got something that looks like a comic from 4 years earlier, and as one series that exists, I am fine with that. Plenty of people will have dropped out of titles when they evolved in the 90s. And I think having one title like this that is happy to keep things the way they were, this is a good compromise and a consolation prize for people not gunning with the overall changes in direction and tone. Then Thor shows up in the first of his ugly 90s redesigns. So it is our two Thors against Satan, and then they have called in Kate Blanchett. She shows up. Great Ron French page, this one. And a lot of this reminds me of the 80s Satan series, or the last part anyway, where it became Satan versus Kate Blanchett. And I always wanted to see that story done better. And here we do some of it better, and that is very welcome. I really think there is a good story idea in there with these two deities fighting over ownership of souls. And there is a lot of splash images here. And I get that it's meant to be this enormous confrontation of two massive entities, but it makes it so that there is a lot less story attached to this part of the plot, and it is the bit of the issue that is the most exciting. You could ditch the entire golden apple fetch quest bit and just expand on all of this. The story resolves with a bit that is totally gunning against the ideas in the main Thor title. Anthony Hopkins is a nice guy who uses his fairyland powers to save 90s Thor's son. But over in Thor's title, he is meant to be a bitter bastard who hates Earth and refuses to allow anyone to go to Earth because his son Thor chose Earth over Fairyland. Very bad coordination and somewhat unsatisfying resolution to the story here. But the Satan and Kate Blanchett bits are great, and there is some interesting foreshadowing to 90s Thor's eventual death. 90s 4 seems to think Kate Blanchett was checking him out, and he says he thinks she's cute. I like that as foreshadowing. It's not ridiculously obvious. It's just something that takes on extra meaning when you know he is dying in 10 issues' time. This isn't a perfect issue, but there are some ingredients for a good meal. They are not prepared or mixed quite right, but it's still very edible. If you want a 4 comic in 1994, this is your 4 comic. This one, it's fun. I'll give it 7 thumbs up, why not?